Business should be fruitful. It has to increase, multiply. For what purpose? To subdue the earth. You're not here to just join the activities of the world. You're supposed to run the world. Be fruitful, therefore. Multiply, therefore. Subdue the earth, therefore. That's why he says, I give you power. I give you power to create wealth. The flip side is also true. He does not give wealth, right? He gives power to make it. Now, if all you do is receive wealth, at the same time you receive wealth, you lose the power to make it. He does not give you wealth. He gives you the power to make it. But if you receive wealth, at the same time you receive wealth, you lose the power to make it. For example, I go to Africa a lot. Safari places are everywhere, and all of them have one thing in common. There's a sign. When you go into a safari park, it says, do not feed the wild animals. Why? Because there's an animal they're called lions. Now lions are the top of the food chain, top predator. He's the king of the jungle, and he does not need to go to lion school to learn that he's a lion. It's in the blood, it's in the DNA. He is just created to be at the top of the food chain, right? However, if you start feeding that lion, every day you bring 25 pounds of meat, bam, in front of him, every single day. Then the lion has to make a choice every single day. Meat, hunt, meat, hunt, meat, hunt. And every time he'll choose meat. So after, let's say, 3 years of meat, hunt, meat, hunt, meat, meat, hunt, meat, hunt, meat, guess what? After 3 years, he's not a lion anymore. He's an overgrown house cat now. He becomes a pet now. Because if you stop suddenly, no more meat, and even right there, 100 feet away, there's a zebra, a plump zebra, just minding his own business. The lion will look at the zebra and say, but it's hot. And it might run, as soon as I come there, it might run. It might even kick me. At the same time you receive wealth, you lose the power to create. That's why 75% of lottery winners go broke within 3 years. How is it possible that you got millions of dollars? How do you manage to lose it all? The same mentality that brought you there. What kind of people buy lottery? Sorry if anybody buys lottery, but if there's this deep desire in you to get money without working, it's going to get you. Especially when it really happens. Like when you really get a lottery, hit the lottery. That's why I said gamblers never win. Because if they lose, of course they lose. But if they win, they lose even more. You know why? Because they become now convinced that it is actually possible to make money without working. That mentality is poison. We have it. We've been blessed, right? But many of your neighbors have not. The people in Himalayas have not. How do we do that? Well, if Rudy doesn't do a good job, doesn't exercise the power to create wealth so that he can give the money for us to do medical camp, so that in that medical camp with all the monks there, we can declare. Well, that's what this is all about. It's not to create more comfort for you, because if you think that the more God loves you, the more He bless you, so that the nicer is your car, the bigger is your house. So the purpose of this whole thing is not comfort. It's not material comfort. The purpose of you being given the power to create wealth is so that He can fulfill His covenant. And His covenant says all families on the earth will be blessed through you. That's the purpose. That's the covenant right there. So that's His way of fulfilling the covenant. He wants His people that knows Him to have power to create wealth. How does this power look like? How does this power look like? Now, some people say the power, to be able to be blessed is to give. Listen, of course, giving is important. But my question to you is, how can you give if you don't have? The first thing is not give. The first key to fulfilling the covenant is not giving. The first key to the covenant is, how do you make money? How do you create wealth? Right? Now, of course, we understand. We don't want. See, here's the balance that we need to work in. God is a God of abundance, but He says, and life more abundantly. He wants you to have an abundant life. So we are supposed to live abundantly, experience the abundance of God, while not getting sucked into materialism. Now that's knowing God. And the only way you can do that is if you understand the purpose of this whole thing. If you don't know the purpose, you have abundance, of course, what else are you going to do? The world is offering you, okay, if you are in this level, this is the kind of car you should be driving. And you say, okay. This is the kind of house you should be living in. Oh, okay, if you say so. When your wealth increase, be careful that you don't become attached to it. Because apparently there's a correlation between increase of wealth and increase of attachment. The more money you have, the bigger the chance you are more attached to that money. That's just the way it is. And so the Lord says, be careful. Now, what kind of remedy does He offer? Well, the first thing, the most basic thing, is tithing. It's the most basic thing. Why? Because tithing is very simple. A tenth. So if you have $1,000, you give $100, no big deal. You have $10,000, now you have to give $1,000. You start feeling something. Now you have $100,000 from one deal from a house, and you have to give $10,000, and it's starting to shake, right? It's like 10,000. Oh, maybe this might not be wise. My pastor cannot handle it. I don't know what thoughts you might have, but that's why He gives that gauge, so that you can measure yourself. It's a DIY kit, It's a do-it-yourself kit to know what is the level of my attachment to the money that God allowed me to handle. Now, if you can do it yourself and say, oh, how come it's getting painful? I'm gonna be intentional about it. I'm gonna do it, and you know what? I'm gonna train myself to be a giver. I'm not gonna buy this luxury item I don't need. Instead, I'm gonna give. You're handling your affairs well. If you don't, and you are struggling with that pain of giving, God is so kind. God is so merciful. He realized that money is good in your hand, but really toxic in your heart. Money is a great servant, but a bad master. And He doesn't want you to fall into that trap. So He kindly withdraw the money that He was entrusting to you. And it's all for your good, so that you don't get intoxicated by it. Because how do you know how much adhesion is going on? By ripping it up, Many people are in the business world with a lot of fantasies. They want to make lots of money with very little work, right? That's the fantasy. But it says, he who works his land, you will have abundance. If you will just work your land, you will have abundance. Now you just have to determine what is your land. If your land is selling homes, do it. My land is taking care of my congregation. That's why I'm here. Whenever He said, can you come? I will show up. That's my land. I'm working my land. Work your land, you will have abundant food. Work is a mandate, it's a call. Knowledge is a power. The question is this: are we diligent enough in order for us to continue to learn so that we can continue to lead. Because John Maxwell says, the day you stop learning, that's the day you stop leading. Learning is a lifelong process that we have to commit ourselves to. So the question is this: are you qualified for your job? Do you have the knowledge to excel at your job? Are you keeping yourself up to date? And if not, why should you be the head? Because we like these prayers like, you shall be the head and not the tail. My question is why? Why should you be the head and not the tail? Because it's a lot easier to be the tail. You don't have to think. Just wag around and get carried somewhere. But you the head, you are responsible not just for the head, you're responsible for the whole body. Like the dog that's trying to, a door is closing and he's trying to get through. The head of the dog is thinking, I need my whole body to pass through, not just the head. Even my tail has to clear it, right? That's the job of the head. My question right now, so many people working in teams, working in companies, all they think about is themselves. How do I get ahead? Have you ever thought of how the whole company can get ahead? If you want to be the head, then think like the head. The people that think like the tail is, where's my bonus? People that think like the head is, how can we create a lot of bonus for everybody? Right?
Yes, that's right.
That's your job. You're responsible not only to work, but to increase your knowledge. The power of wisdom. Knowledge is knowing the right thing, but wisdom is doing the right thing at the right time. Oh, real estate business, wow. Times are always a-changing, isn't it? Things that are, it's a tough business because it changes a lot. It changes a lot. What's true 6 months ago is not true now. Everything's changing. Oh my goodness, how do you keep up with that? Well, I just want to prophesy this to you right now, that this company will be like the children of Issachar.
Amen.
That not only you work hard workers, because there's a lot of companies are hard workers too. Not only you are diligent in increasing in your knowledge, because other people do too, but I pray that you will have something more than that, which is wisdom, like the Issacharites, a prophetic insight that nobody else has. Now we like that last part there, in charge, everybody submits the whole thing. Do you know that all those things are not gifts? You have to earn it. You're not just given just because I'm a Christian. No. You have to earn it. This is a non-believer, Pharaoh, giving a testimony because you know things that other people don't. I give you charge over my property. There's a good reason. Here's another form of the power to create wealth. So we talked about the power to work, the power of knowledge, the power of wisdom, now the power of vision. You can work without supervision, you will soon supervise others. Initiative. When you come to work, I always tell people, when you come to work, you don't have anything to do. Your supervisor is not there to tell you, to give you any job, and everything that you were told to do, you're already done. What do you do? Now, this is for Christians. Normally Christians, you start emailing your friend, giving them verses, and inviting them to the care group at somebody's house. Look, if you do that, you're going to end up poor. because the people that will become abundant are the people that, even not being told what to do, nobody is there to tell them what to do, are able to create their own work for the benefit of their company, for the benefit of the whole company, so that the company will move forward. He's able to rule and lead himself. We have been given the power to create wealth. This is how the power to create wealth look like. If you do this, then you'll have something to give. Then you'll have something to give in order for the covenant to be fulfilled. But first this,